Well, good morning. I'm Jonathan from the East of England Brussels office. I'll just tell you a little bit about us, but I won't spend too long on that because you know it's not the most important bit. We are part of the East of England LGA, which took over from the East of England Regional Assembly several years ago when it was abolished by the previous Labour government. We also previously worked very closely with the East of England Regional Development Agency. But since then, we have evolved, and like the rest of the public sector, we have changed and slimmed down somewhat. But one of the things that was decided at an East of England level, at a regional level, was that European funding and policy was still going to be critical going forward. So the East of England team is made up of 4 full-time equivalents plus 1 or 2 interns at any given point from the University of East Anglia. And I show you this because you can see the breadth of coverage in terms of policy and funding areas. So we're covering transport, enterprise, the environment, social policy, migration issues, digital issues, employability, the environment, and everything else. And then at the top, my boss Sarah Murray dealing with European structural and investment funds, ERDF, as you may have heard before. So this is the team. And one of the things we do for Essex County Council and the 52 councils that make up the East of England is we provide policy support, we provide advanced information and intelligence on forthcoming funding opportunities, and from 2014 to 2020, the EU has a new funding program, a whole range of funding programs, one of them being Horizon 2020. But as you can see, it also includes now much more on financial instruments, whereas previously the European Commission had mostly given out non-repayable grants. Now, because they want to get more sort of bang for their buck, bang for their euro, they're now lending money, loaning money or venture capital support, bonds, issuing bonds, and then expecting SMEs to repay that so that they can recycle the money. You'll see though, here are the policy areas, but you'll see that Horizon 2020 is cross-cutting. It's not just universities and researchers you're here today. It's about SMEs. It's about supporting the entire economy. So our partners are, the main big one is the East of England LGA, which is why I'm here, because Essex County Council, all the district councils, Southend, Thurrock, are members of the East of England LGA, and through that membership we also work with them. The additional organisations here, the LEPs of Cambridgeshire, Peterborough, Hertfordshire, and is there another one? New Anglia. They pay a separate subscription to us so that we can work with them. You'll also see Anglia Ruskin, the Chelmsford campus, we work with quite closely, as well as the University of Essex. We don't currently work with the South East LEP, but that's not really an issue because we work with the with Essex County Council. Some of the organisations we work with range from UK local government, Department for Community and Local Government, BIS, as well as the European Commission, obviously, the European Parliament, but we're also involved in many networks, thematic networks based in Brussels across the European Union. So one of them, for example, is on health. So many of the local authorities, top-tier authorities, now taking responsibility for public health. So we do a lot of work across Europe with other regions and local authorities and health organisations working on health funding and policy. But also we're now a member of the European Regions Research and Innovation Network called ERIN, which again is about local authorities, including some others and some other regions from the UK like West Midlands, University of Birmingham, Hampshire, as well as regions from across Europe, mostly I have to say Northern Europe, Scandinavia, working together on projects, European funded projects, and to help our partners trying to access European funding. So that's just about us, but European funding and the East of England and the European Union, as we all know, has not a great reputation in the UK, particularly in the East of England following the European elections. But I say to you that that is secondary importance to the fact that we are in the European Union at the moment, and that therefore there are lots of opportunities to access that money. And actually, there is a good story. There is a good story to tell. So, under the previous program, it was called FP7, Framework Program 7, before Horizon. These are the figures we have up until October 2012. Only at the beginning of the week, my colleague received the figures from November 2013, but I hadn't had an opportunity to update the numbers. But you can see that for contracts between 2007 and 2012, October 2012, total EU funding under FP7 was 29 billion euros, of which the UK received 4.4 billion euros. And the East of England is the top performing region in the UK, having received 511 million euros. And you can see there, most of it is going to higher education, but 58 million euros has gone to SMEs. And under Horizon 2020, we expect that to increase. And indeed, the United Kingdom is second only to Germany, which has an additional sort of 25 million people or so, and is also very advanced in its manufacturing and technology. But we're only second to Germany in terms of FP7 funding up until 2013, and the figures that we've now got for the additional year of 2013, we're talking about adding another 50 million or so to that number. So by the end of the programme, at the end of 2013, we're probably looking at around 560 million euros, which is very good. So the East of England, Essex, has a track record of success. And Horizon 2020, which will run until 2020, is the new showcase programme. A significant budget of nearly 80 billion euros, as the Councillor said, in current prices. It is not a research and development programme for universities and academic staff. It is a research and innovation programme for SMEs, for research institutes. It is for everybody. It is a single programme now, which brings together the previous FP7, as I said, but also what's called SIP, which is the Competitiveness and Innovation Programme, which was the old business SME focused programme, and EIT, which is the European Institute for Innovation and Technology, which is something based in Budapest, I believe. The new programme has what we call 7 societal challenges, and they range from energy, transport, the environment, health, defence. So basically, every SME in the room will fall under one of those challenges for sure. It's really an administrative issue about having these societal challenges, because the new programme is much less prescriptive. Under the previous programme, you would have had a call and it would have said, so something I know about in terms of green cars and electric vehicles, it would have said, we want to have a project to develop new and improved life capacity, or the new battery life for e-vehicles, whereas now it will just say green transport, and it will leave it up to universities and SMEs and participants to decide what actually they can do to increase the use of green vehicles. And that's why it is providing the support for innovation and brings the focus, as the Councillor says, well, from inception and idea to the market. The previous programme was very successful at the pure research stage, the academic research stage, supporting SMEs with sort of market feasibility studies and up until that point, but it didn't take them any further. It didn't take them to launch. It didn't take them to market. The idea is, and of course we're only at the first stage of the new programme, is that it's more open, less bureaucratic. There are now one set of rules, so previously there were 2 or 3, at the top as you can see, 2 or 3 different rules and auditing procedures and everything else. That is all gone, and there is now one set of rules. And if you believe the Commission, as well as our very own East of England MEP Vicky Ford, who worked very closely on this, so the East of England has been involved right from the start, she will tell you now that the rules should be, we've not had them implemented yet, but when we get the first projects, we are told the rules are going to be easier, quicker, less reporting, shorter time to grant, quicker payments, fewer audits. It's a utopia, we're going to be told. So we will see how that works, but I think everybody is fairly optimistic. So that's the basic background to the Horizon 2020 programme. Now, all of us have said innovation several times now, including myself, and I often get questions about what is innovation. We all think we know what it is, but what actually is it? Well, it's in the eye of the beholder in a sense, and that innovation, and these are from the Commission, this description, is activities directly aiming at producing plans, arrangements for new, altered or improved products, processes or services. So again, that could probably put anything under that. But I mean, specifically what we're looking at are prototype testing, demonstrating, piloting, large-scale production validation, market replication. And that's crucial as well, because the programme is also there to support, excuse me, is also there to support SMEs who've got existing products or services, but that they wish to expand and replicate and try in other member states as well. It's not going to be a case that they're just going to pay for you to take your product to market in another country, but if you're going to do something innovative in the UK and in the other EU country and replicate success, then they will support that to some extent, and you'll see about that in the SME instrument. Because in your pack there was a one pager that our office produced in terms of the SME instrument, and I'll talk about that. But that's where you're going to get that sort of market replication support. So the programme, Horizon 2020, is made up of what they call 3 pillars. The excellent science, or excellence in science, is primarily pure research. It's more, let's say, academic research institute based. Most of that funding, the 32% of the 80 billion, most of that will be going to the European Research Council, which then trickles it down into research councils in the UK, but as well as doing direct funding themselves. It also provides funding for, let's say, humanities and that sort of social sciences, which still goes on in universities that the Commission will wish to support. The second one in red, industrial leadership, is what we're going to talk about a little bit more. And the industrial leadership, it is an SME focused element, but it's not just for SMEs, because one of the things the Commission is very keen on is that European universities actually engage more with SMEs. Now, historically, the UK has been better than the rest in terms of engaging with SMEs. And if you go to some other European countries, including Germany, which does very well on pure research, they have a very bad record of public-private engagement. So one of the things they want to do with the excellent science and industrial leadership as well is to try and get universities and academics to take 1 or 2 steps down their ivory towers sometimes, and to try and engage with the private sector, which is, having worked with universities, sometimes easier said than done. The final element, where the largest chunk of money is going, is societal challenges, and again, that is aimed at SMEs as well. It's a mixed, let's say, arrangement in terms of who's going to receive that money. So it could be that you're an SME working on, I don't know, water purification systems. Now, it could be that what you're doing there could be designing a new product. It could be about trying to take a new technology to market. So it might be that when you look at the documentation, which can be about this thick in terms of all the different options, it could be that your potential idea will fit into an industrial leadership pillar, or it could be that it might be dealing with an environmental issue as well. So it could fit under societal challenges, which maybe means your SME partnering up with universities and academics to further that research, to finalise that the concept and the technology, and doing it under a societal challenge. The principle being that the funding arrangements, the auditing and whatever else is the same throughout. It's really just where your project's going to fit, and actually the people from the Essex funding and funding team here, they are the ones as well who will be able to help you identify exactly where your project would fit. The issue going forward is not that there isn't enough money, because there's now a lot of money. The issue going forward is the quality of the projects. One of the problems the Commission has is that there's a lot of people with a lot of ideas, but the projects themselves, the business case, business plan is not there, or it's not good enough. Also, this is European funding, so they do want to see some cooperation with other countries quite often. They do want to see European added value. They do want to see a reason why you can't access domestic funding, grants and loans. Why do you need this money and not domestic funding? So there's a lot of money there, but it's about the quality of the projects really. So in terms of industrial leadership, and I don't have enough time to do the other two, so we're concentrating on this. Why, really? Well, it's about more innovative SMEs to create those growth and jobs. And you'll hear that time and again from the Commission about smart, sustainable and inclusive growth. FP7, the previous programme, did improve SME participation. So if you go back to 2000, 2006, SME participation, was way down. It was only in the single digits. Whereas under FP7, the last 7 years, SME participation, business in participation, generally bigger, larger enterprises, went up significantly. But there's still a long way to go. And although the UK does very well, as I say, many other countries, including Western European countries, have not performed well when it comes to SME participation. So whether it be through grant funding or whether it be through loans, Horizon 2020 is about private investment and attracting that. So part of what I'll talk about is the SME instrument, as I say, and that is about attracting that private capital, not just about a block grant, go away and spend it. And the what? Well, under the industrial leadership, there is a section which is particularly, so I'm kind of narrowing it down each time. So we're starting with SMEs, yes, everything's of interest, then industrial leadership, yes, that is particularly interesting to SMEs, but then we get to this, which is a particular strand in the industrial leadership section, which is leadership in enabling and industrial technologies. And that has 13 billion dedicated to it, and it is hoped by the Commission that by 2020, 13 billion will have gone to SMEs or projects led by an SME there. And that's covering virtually everything that anybody in this room will be doing, no doubt. ICT, nanotech, advanced materials, manufacturing, biotechnology, space, everything which is anything new and exciting new technologies. We'll talk a bit more about the access to risk finance in a minute, but the Commission is also making a grant to, as I said before, the European Institute for Innovation and Technology, which people who have a particular, let's say they have a particular project or product that they want to do on a pan-European basis, it may be well worth having a look at their website for opportunities to cooperate with them, because they have additional funding in their own funding streams. So the LEIT, the emphasis there is on R&D and innovation, and it isn't about just supporting any SME, it's about supporting innovative SMEs. And as I was saying before about innovation, it's not about necessarily redesigning the wheel. It's not about starting from scratch. It's not about coming up with a totally new theory or science. Sometimes it's actually about using existing technology and existing ideas better. And that's one of the things that the old programme, whilst it did talk about, it didn't. The old programme was a lot more pure research based and excellence in science, whereas this is trying to be much more industry focused, and that's why they do have this strong emphasis on the industrial side and using existing ideas but using them better. So that is the enabling technologies, industrial technologies. And so to the SME instrument. Now this is just one strand, but I'm highlighting it just to give you an idea about what it is, although, as I say, you have got it in your information pack. So the SME instrument, it's meant to be, as we said earlier, the whole of Horizon 2020 is now meant to be about taking things from concept and design to market. The SME instrument is a specific tool designed focused at small enterprises, less than 250 employees, that kind of small company. to help them develop those ideas, those products, those services, processes. Excuse me. This on its own has a budget of 3 billion. It's continually open, so it's not like the other parts of Horizon 2020. There are cut-off dates throughout the year, and I believe they're sort of February, April, September, November, something like that, October. But there are 4 cut-off dates, but the call is continually open. So if you're sitting there now and you sit through this and you think, well, maybe this is something for me, it's not that you're now going to have to wait till next year. You can go away and think about it now, ask Essex and other people, ask the national contact points for support, and it may be that you could be making an application this year. And it offers what they're calling phased support, and there are 3 phases. Phase 1 is what it says at the top is a business innovation grant. It's really a feasibility assessment stage, and it's the simplest form of funding that they provide. It's about 50,000 euros. It's a lump sum grant per project, not per partner. So if you're in a consortium and there's 4 or 5 of you, it's not going to be 50k per partner, it's for the project. Duration is going to be around 70%. So the duration is going to be around 6 months, and the total funding support is going to be around 70% of the project cost. It allows you, without having to go through any kind of auditing or having to go through additional bureaucracy, let's say, to just do initial exploration for intellectual property, risk assessments, commissioning design studies, developing pilot applications. It's not 100% funding, because the Commission expects an SME obviously to invest in this themselves, to show some commitment. And the time to contract is about 8 to 12 weeks, which if anybody's done European funding will know that is exceptionally fast. The team that they have in the Commission doing this are unusual, because most people working in the Commission are fonctionnaires, they are civil servants, and they don't necessarily, many of them have come directly from university and have not necessarily worked in the private sector, whereas this particular evaluation team within the Commission that will evaluate the applications for the SME instrument are 90% from the private sector, from finance. So what they have tried to do and set up are assessments and evaluation criteria, which you would come across if you were making a loan application. You will need a business plan. It's meant to mirror what would happen in the private sector, so it's really being designed for SMEs. If this is successful and you're ready to move on to the next phase, or you can just go straight to the second one, there is phase 2, which is the innovation grant, and that is anywhere between 500 to 2.5 million euros. Also, coaching support for demonstration, market replication R&D, typically 1 to 2 years. Again, typically 70% of the project cost, of the eligible costs, but in exceptional circumstances where there is real cross-national working, where it's a very exciting idea, project, and the Commission deems it of real value and really believes that it could deliver, they would potentially go up to 100%, but that is going to be exceptional rather than the norm. This is obviously a much more significant amount of money, so you are going to expect audits and other things like that. But the application is via a 30-page business plan, and it's going to be supporting prototyping, testing, services, commercialisation studies, finance plans, scaling up, all this type of thing. The time to contract there, maximum of 150 days, which doesn't sound short necessarily, but it's still much quicker than many of European funding streams. So this is the second phase. If you are then ready to move to the third phase, to market deployment, but there are issues of access to finance, etc., there is phase 3. This doesn't come with any direct financing from the Commission. You're not going to make a bid to the Commission, you're not going to make an application for funding from the Commission. What the Commission will do is they will help you through the European Investment Bank, and through its partners such as Lloyd's in the UK, to access private capital, as well as point you in the direction for gaining access to venture capital, mezzanine funding and things like that, and also advise particularly for people looking to go outside of Europe, to India, to China, to Latin America, on IPR protection. They'll also be using the services of the Enterprise Europe network, which will be coaching, support and advice. I believe the network, the Enterprise Europe network, is currently